year is 2005. As a handheld fanatic, I imported a PlayStation Portable to give it a proper go. There was a certain buzz coming from Japan that was hard to ignore. Among the games I purchased was Lumines, a musical puzzle game coming from the brain of Tetsuya Mizuguchi. The guy, responsible for games like Rez, made me curious what he could pull off on this thing. The result was a bright, colorful endeavor that I kept putting back in my system for months on end. The song Shining blasted through my headphones for the majority of that year. Naturally, there were other songs that I intensely enjoyed, but I associate my experience with that singular tune. After many fun iterations, Mizuguchi-san and the team over at Enhanced Games go back where it all started. Personally, I couldn't be happier. If you never played it before, Lumines isn't that hard to understand. A block consisting of a mixture of 2 different colors and 4 tinier blocks need to be dropped on the playing field. They come down from the top and need to be placed in quite a wide area. Your goal is to create squares of the same color, which will disappear once the timeline, or bar, touches them. The timeline is a relentless reminder that you need to plan ahead. This is particularly true if you want to make huge combos and keep creating squares and squares to make more disappear. There is a groove to it that's undeniable, as the bar moves along with the tune played. By successfully wiping blocks from existence, you climb the ladder and get yourself the highest score possible. My favorite way to play Lumines Remastered is the challenge mode. It is here that you unlock the majority of the music and backgrounds, better known as skins. The basic version sees you hopping from skin to skin until you reach level 100. It is kind of like Tetris's marathon mode, though the challenge is far greater. The timeline isn't consistent across songs, and your time to react becomes shorter as you move on. If you manage to beat it though, you will get access to an endless mode, where you can continue until you no longer can place blocks. There's also a shuffle mode, where the unlocked skins get remixed, and you aren't sure what you're getting next. It's just a fun way to kill some time at home or on the go. Next to the ridiculous time that you will be spending in challenge mode, there's enough to keep you engaged. The first CPU mode has another 10 skins for you to unlock. In this mode, you and your opponent will share half a screen. You will need to make shift combos to move the separation line closer to the enemy. This gives them less breathing room and forces them to adapt. Once they are out of room to place blocks, you are declared the victor. It brings a fun and different flavor to how the game is played, and requires you to work within the restrictions of the timeline. A 2-player mode is also available, which is totally playable with just a singular Joy-Con. Sadly, you won't be able to compete with others online, which I think is a big shame. Another fun way to spend time is with the skin edit mode. It is here that you can create a playlist for up to 10 songs and jam out to your heart's content. You can choose from any of your unlocked skins, no matter the mode, and can choose as few as just one. This is the perfect way to play the ones you adore, simply assuring that the fun never ends. The other 3 modes present add meat to the overall package. Time Attack sees you destroy within 3 set time limits. This can be 1, 3 or 5 minutes at maximum. In Puzzle mode, you need to create shapes on the playing field. This is far trickier than it sounds, as you can make squares or your progress will be simply swiped away. Mission mode, on the other hand, is somewhat more forgiving. The objectives stay within certain boundaries, so you know how to deal with problems coming your way. Overall, the package will keep you occupied for hours on end, and I wouldn't have it any other way. Lumines Remastered runs quite wonderful on Nintendo Switch. The various skins really pop on the screen, and everything sounds really crisp and clear. The only issue I have with the Nintendo Switch release is that the loading times seem a bit long. Regardless of starting up the game docked or undocked, it needed longer than I was anticipating. At the end of the day, it's a small thing, but certainly noticeable. Granted, I am more willing to accept it all in favor of a modern portable Lumines. The controls work as you would expect. One thing I do feel the need to point out is that the game is best played in handheld or with separated Joy-Con. The itchy rumble put into the game is really powerful and truly underlines the musical beats. To fully appreciate it, you will need to wrap your hands around the Joy-Con. You can still notice it in the Pro Controller, but it doesn't feel the same to me. Overall though, I absolutely love Lumines Remastered. For a little while, I was worried that I've grown out of the original and its soundtrack, but revisiting it put my mind at ease. This game is utterly brilliant, and made me put in way too many hours already. There are smaller gripes, like the lack of online for multiplayer, but they can be forgiven in the grand scheme of things. This remastered version is packed away with stuff, and I will likely keep this on my home screen for quite a while. Thanks for watching, and be sure to stay subscribed to GameXplain for more on Lumines Remastered and other things gaming too. See you later, bye.